Is there actually a world where the Diamondbacks can go out and acquire Alex Bregman and keep Ketel Marte? It's all about the money. We're talking about it in 30 seconds. Don't you go anywhere. SkeeYee, and welcome into another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast, live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It is I, your mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. Thrilled to have you guys here with us, not thrilled to still be talking about Ketel Marte trade rumors. You know how much I hate that. This show is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Make sure to download that Game Time app right now. Use our code of PHNX when you sign up. After you create an account, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. And of course, make sure to get your savings on those last-minute ticket deals that Game Time always offers. We got our guy Shane Diefenbach on the ones and twos today, as well as Damon Dog. It's going to be a little bit of a tag team thing today, and they are the tag team champions. So thrilled to have that. And of course, we are going to talk about Ketel Marte rumors still, and Alex Bregman. And we're going to wonder if the Diamondbacks can, in fact, have both of these guys coexist on this team at the same time. Where are they going to find the money? I have no idea. But this is kind of like Christmas, right? This is like Christmas when you were a kid and your parents told you, no, you cannot have that thing on your wish list. We don't have the money for that. Where do you think we would get the money for that? And then, lo and behold, come Christmas morning, Santa Kendrick has dropped you off a brand new third baseman underneath your Christmas tree. But first, maybe they should be focused on closers in baseball, because those seem to be going fast. If you never know what the big item, the big shopping item at this time of the year is going to be, but apparently in baseball, it's elite closers, elite relievers, which have been flying off the market. Meanwhile, starting pitching, not so much. Still kind of tepid, still kind of waiting for some more big moves to happen and kind of unplug this log jam that is the elite starting pitchers in baseball. We thought that Dylan Cease would do that. But when it comes to closers, they are going fast. Right now, we have a guy we just talked about, the Diamondbacks potentially going after, Luke Weaver, signing a 2-year deal with the New York Mets worth $22 million. The agreement is pending a routine physical, and this is one of the Mets, moves that they're making here, because they didn't land the players that they were seeking. They didn't get the guys, so now the Mets are just kind of taking relievers from the New York Yankees. They went after Devin Williams. Now they're going after Luke Weaver. And the Mets just entered the season, the offseason, needing reliable late-inning relief pitching, knowing especially that they were going to most likely lose Edwin Diaz, who they lost to the Los Angeles Dodgers. So, we've given you all the reasons why we like Luke Weaver. In fact, we thought that Luke Weaver's Baseball Savant page looked just a little bit better than Pete Fairbanks, who we have been coveting and wanting the Diamondbacks to go after. But overall here, it just feels like, again, this is turning into a situation where not only does it feel like these relievers are going for a higher dollar amount, but it also feels like the Diamondbacks, if they wait any longer, aren't going to have an option. It's the forget the money, forget negotiating with someone. They're just not going to have an option. In 2025, with the Yankees, Weaver appeared in 64 games, posted a mid-3 ERA, he was good, even though his numbers were kind of down from the previous season. Still 32 years old. However, it does feel like 2 years, $22 million is a little bit of an overpay there. He does have the proven ability, as we've seen in the past, to handle high leverage situations, the highest leverage of situations. He's been durable in relief, and he has postseason experience. But his past inconsistency over the last 2 seasons have him kind of kind of on a downward trend, and the workload that he has been asked to do by the Yankees was a bit concerning. But the Mets don't care about that, and they have enough money to essentially have Luke Weaver come in, not be a closer for them like he would have probably had to be for the Diamondbacks, not even be a setup man. Luke Weaver can just be a part of their bullpen with what they're trying to build in New York. And I'm sure they're going to continue to try to add names to their bullpen, add names to their starting pitching rotation, and try to compete with the rest of the teams in their division. That National League East continues to get better. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of that, the Phillies signed Brad Keller, another option that the Diamondbacks fans at least were interested. I didn't really hear any connection from the team to Keller. I didn't hear any interest there. But again, a guy that might have fit, and he also gets a 2-year contract that's worth $22 million. So it would feel like this is the going rate. We discussed at times that someone like Pete Fairbanks most likely would get in the neighborhood of $10 million per year for 2 years or maybe even 3 years. Pete Fairbanks' price just went up, even if it's just slightly. There's a good chance that someone like Fairbanks, with his numbers and what he has done as a closer, will most likely receive at least this kind of deal at $22 million for 2 years. But again, Keller was another name that was out there as one of the better relievers on the market, especially just another reliable right-handed arm. And again, his season with the Chicago Cubs was pretty much a breakout. He posted 2.07 ERA in 68 relief appearances, struck out 75 over 70 innings, or nearly 70 innings, and just had elite numbers overall that he put up. So Keller will be exclusively used out of the bullpen there for the Phillies, even though he had started his career as a starter, and he's expected to slot into setup situations right before Duran there, working in the 7th or the 8th inning overall. But Mighty in the chat says, how are we in discussions for Bregman, and yet these two $22 million deals were apparently too expensive? When I'm saying that, I get what you're saying. Now, mind you, I don't mean to discredit our beloved franchise here, the Arizona Diamondbacks. I really don't. But in free agency, players have the ability to choose where they go. And although Arizona is very alluring and a lot of people want to come here for other factors, right? Like usually they want to come here because they love the weather or they have a house here or they're from here, right? But I don't know how many people are choosing the Arizona Diamondbacks, how many players are choosing the Diamondbacks because this is a competitive contender that is on the cusp of winning a World Series, right? So from that perspective, it might be a little easier sell to get a guy like Luke Weaver, who was already in New York, to stay in New York and just change teams, and also stick around for a team like the Mets that he feels like is much closer to win a championship, a team that is spending much more money than a team like the Diamondbacks is. Or you could even take a look at the Phillies that have just been consistently good throughout the years, and that team has a reputation as a winner, right? So in the end, even though it might feel like the Diamondbacks couldn't afford these two guys, it's also about getting those guys to choose Arizona, right? So that might be a little bit harder of a sell, and that might be the reason why it's more difficult to, not only negotiate and keep up with what these other teams are spending, but get a player to choose to come here because this is where he wants, right? Like Philadelphia, again, their bullpen for 26 now features a pretty good, couple of guys in there, including Orion Kerkering and Duran. And again, they have themselves a solid foundation that they're building, something the Diamondbacks would love to do. Chris Martin, he had himself a great season last year. He's returning to the Rangers on a 1-year deal. And just so overall, when you look across the board, Major League Baseball, Pete Fairbanks is the last closer available. It's him. He is him. Damon said that many times, but it really comes down to him being him now because there is nobody else. Edwin Diaz, 3 years, $69 million. Nice, not nice. We don't love where he went. The highest average annual value ever for a reliever, even after factoring in deferrals. Devin Williams got 3 years, $51 million, going to the New York Mets, and that is coming off of a season where he posted a 4.79 ERA, and he got 3 years, $51 million. Robert Suarez got 3 years, $45 million. Tyler Rogers to go to the Toronto Blue Jays, 3 years, $37 million. Ryan Helsley to the Orioles, 2 years, $28 million. Brad Keller, 2 years, $22 million. Luke Weaver, 2 years, $22 million. Emilio Pagan, 2 years, $20 million. It's over. The relief market is done. It's over. We're all out. We're all out of relievers at the toy store. Let me tell you. But the Diamondbacks are still linked as the main suitor to land Pete Fairbanks. Multiple reports suggest Arizona has obviously engaged in conversations. We had a source tell us that. Nick Picoro confirmed it the same day with a source of his own. And even though they were in talks with Pete Fairbanks, again, as I just take a step backwards to the conversation we just had, it's still about Pete Fairbanks choosing the Diamondbacks. There's a number of other teams that are involved. Now, most of these teams that are suitors for Fairbanks are also equally bad situations. Overall, the Miami Marlins are the next highest team linked to Fairbanks, as well as the Chicago White Sox. MLB trade rumors reported that the White Sox interest has grown in Fairbanks, though they may not be the most competitive bidder or the team that he wants to go play for, or the team that any team player wants to go play for. Meanwhile, kind of tied in fourth place there amongst all the other teams are the Cubs, the Phillies, the Mets, and the Yankees. All teams that could easily swoop in, offer Fairbanks a higher annual value than the Diamondbacks could probably commit to, and steal him away. And insiders have said that all of those teams are keeping tabs on Fairbanks, suggesting that there's broader interest beyond just the obvious three suitors. Katie is 100% right. If the Diamondbacks somehow lost Pete Fairbanks to the White Sox, that's probably more devastating than, the Brewers' comeback loss in 2024. And I know I probably shouldn't be bringing that up. There's no reason to even bring that up, but still, I will do that anyway. Mark, meanwhile, still scouting our kissability. He says, I'll start the kissable scouting for Peter. And yes, it's Pete. Let's make sure it's Pete, not Peter. Let's keep his name straight. Just like Mike Soroka is Michael. It was Mike at one point. It's Michael now. We got to keep all of these actual names and the way that they want to be called stuff correct, especially when it comes to trying to get these guys on our team. But yeah, when it comes down, again, to relievers, you take a look. The guys now that are left, much older names. Kirby Yates at 39 years old, available on the market. David Robertson, 41 years old on the market, right? Chris Martin just signed. He was 40. And no offense to Chris Martin, because he just came off a very good season. But there's just a lot of who's and who. Caleb Thielbar. Again, there's just not a lot of arms available. And again, you talk about the top of the heap. You pretty much have a few guys left that would even be considered elite arms. But when you talk about closers, you really just have Pete Fairbanks that's left. So, and I still don't know how Fairbanks would factor into the Diamondbacks' plans later on in the season when AJ Puck and Justin Martinez return. I would love the idea of giving Torey Lovullo that many options as far as who he could turn to in those relief situations. But yeah, again, when you take a look at the top 20 available bullpen arms on the free agent market, there's maybe 6 of them left. Maybe. You got Sean Armstrong, Kirby Yates, David Robertson, Pete Fairbanks, Sean Newcomb, Jacob Junis, and that's it. That's it. Out of the top 20, six names left. So, and again, the Diamondbacks have to figure out a way to make this an alluring spot, a place where players want to come, want to play, and feel like this team has a chance of winning. It's already a difficult sell with the Dodgers. It's already a difficult sell that the Dodgers go out there and add the top name on this list to their team. But again, it's also the fact that when you look around the NL West, there hasn't been a lot of action otherwise, right? And if anything, you feel like the Padres, they are a team that got much worse this offseason and haven't done much to improve that roster. The Giants, they're kind of in a similar holding pattern as the Diamondbacks, where they have some needs, but they have a lot of money committed to that payroll right now. The Dbacks, again, they have plenty of money committed to their payroll, but they have a lot of needs that they still need to get done. The biggest question on everybody's mind is the situation with Ketel Marte and with Alex Bregman. We talked yesterday quite a bit about the idea of Alex Bregman and Ketel Marte, but at no point did we really venture into the discussion of, can they coexist? Can we have both Alex Bregman and Ketel Marte on this team at the same time? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it on the other side of this break. So don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, Pure Edibles was founded right here in Arizona. You know, I'm a huge fan of Pure Edibles. They offer a wide variety of strains and doses that you can find. Start over. It's not strains and doses. All right. Technical difficulties on that. Sorry, you guys. But of course, make sure to check out everything that our friends has to offer over there at Pure Edibles. Pure Edibles was founded right here in Arizona. Some Pure Edibles, which was founded right here in Arizona. And Pure Edibles, of course, is a full-fledged edible candy company that offers you a wide variety of candies, not just gummies like most companies offer, but they offer a variety. They have hard candies, chews, soft candies. They also offer their version of Starburst that they call Kicks. And each of these have a wide variety of flavors and effects that you can find clearly listed on each tin. They also offer their brand new collaboration right now with one of the best breweries in this entire state, Mother Road Brewing Company, and their Tower Station IPA, which is iconic and delicious, can now be found in this collaboration with our friends over at Pure Edibles in an all-in-one THC device. It has the same crisp citrus notes as well as the piney hops as the iconic IPA, but now available in an all-in-one THC device that helps make you available for happy hour all the time. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. And there is no better place to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union. If you are a sports fan in this state, you can show off your fandom every time you make a purchase with branded debit cards that include some of your favorite teams like the Arizona Cardinals, Arizona State University, and Northern Arizona University. And for more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and by providing financial solutions that help make lives better. They helped make my life better by getting me started on my first mortgage and my first home. Hopefully they can get you started on whatever financial accomplishment you are trying to get to. They offer mortgages, savings accounts, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more. Join a credit union that is committed to giving back to the community and sharing success with their members. Right now, when you open a free checking account online, you can get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. I'm also voting out recorded Derek, by the way. Mark, you're not wrong about that. But hey, welcome back. We do have a lot to talk about when it comes to this. And Shane, I think you have to go.
Guys, forget what you just saw.
No, that doesn't work with them.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It just worked. It's
Okay,
working.
just
It's working.
just
It's
staring.
working. It's working. It's working. It's working.
No, you know what?
And
Shane,
boom.
get out. Shane, get out of here.
Hey!
No,
Hey,
get out of
guys.
here. Shane, you're fired. You're fired, Shane. Get off the set. Bring in Damon. We're going with a reliever in the production booth here, but the big question here isn't about relievers. Actually, it could be because we have no idea who they're going to add or if they're going to do it in time. But the big question here is, what are the Diamondbacks going to do about Alex Bregman? Or, as Mark says, maybe Alexander Bregman. I don't know. We're still figuring that out. We have to figure out Mike and Michael Soroka. We have to figure out lots of things around here. But we definitely have to figure out how the hell the Diamondbacks could possibly do that. Now, the discussions up to this point have pretty much involved the Diamondbacks making a series of moves that would land them Alex Bregman and result in Ketel Marte being traded. We covered them yesterday. We mostly talked about the Boston Red Sox. It does feel like other teams might are starting to bow out of the race a little bit. In fact, we've heard that the Mariners might be more interested in Brendan Donovan now than they are in Ketel Marte due to the asking price of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And as Damon and I have covered, that's exactly what we want to hear. That is exactly what we want to hear. Overpay or GTFO. We've said that. That's our thing. OP or GTFO. That's how we're going with Ketel Marte. But the main question seems to be, how does a team that does not have money to go out there and add starting pitching, how does a team that doesn't have money to round out their roster and cover the needs that they have suddenly have money for one Alexander Bregman, right? So that's really what it comes down to. Now, the article that Ken Rosenthal wrote, Jesse and I discussed a little bit yesterday, but it does have some very interesting things in there. The we don't have money, Ken got aggressive kind of thing, right? We have that. We also have this quote graphic from Ken Rosenthal, where it was this in his article. A scenario exists in which the Arizona Diamondbacks would sign both free agent third baseman Alex Bregman and keep second baseman Ketel Marte. Arizona owner Ken Kendrick routinely extends his payroll when he believes his team has a chance to win. Fire me up, Damon. Fire me all the way up.
Look at Ken.
Look at Ken.
I mean, has he been getting more handsome by the year recently? Is that just me that's been noticing that?
Yeah, he's never looked better to me than he does when I hear something like that. I never hear that. And really, it's such a comical thing, because saying that we're going to spend less is, yes, something that they do have to commit to, right? Saying that if you say we're going to spend less, it is kind of like there was no reason for you to say that, right? There is maybe some advantages, maybe because teams don't think the Diamondbacks are going to spend, they can maybe covertly operate a little bit here and talk to free agents and feel things out in a way where there's not much pressure on them to add any of these guys. Yet if something comes up where a player is interested, then maybe they can figure out a way to make something work, right? It is reported that Alex Bregman wants a 6-year contract, and according to those close to Bregman and close to the Boston Red Sox, both sides apparently are saying that the Boston Red Sox do not want to offer him 6 years. They do not want to offer him that long of a contract, right?
Imagine being that organization. You just have all the money. You've all the ability to be good.
You got the historic pedigree. You got one of the oldest stadiums in baseball. That the stadium itself is an iconic tourist destination.
A fan base that adores your team.
Sure.
And we're going to trade Mookie Betts instead of extending him. Oh yeah, we can't sign Alex Bregman. That's 6 years. That's too much.
That's too long.
That would be
in his 30s.
I would say the only thing more infuriating than being a small market team or a team that can't compete at the top in MLB is being a team that can compete at the top
and
chooses not to.
And refuses
the
to.
Cubs are like, well, I guess Kyle Tucker's gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Rafi Devers doesn't want to play certain positions. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is on par. Like the Devers situation felt far more of a problem in the locker room than the Ketel does, which makes us once again just wonder why the locker room issues were such a big deal. I mean, even Rosenthal said that when he was on Fair Territory today. He said, the locker room situation was not just a small deal. It sounded like it was a big deal. Like, again, we do not know the extent of how angry the team as a whole was. We don't know whether a team meeting occurred with just players or not. We don't know what exactly, what the true feelings were, right? Like many of us felt like this kind of came out of nowhere, because it kind of did. Kind of came out of a situation where, we thought Ketel had missed days due to a robbery, and then find out that this is, that we found out the real reasons, and then we found out at the same time that there was a lot of anger his way. But again, I just don't feel like any of that is enough to trade Ketel simply because you feel like you need to get rid of him, right? So what this comes down to now is if the Diamondbacks are in fact talking to Bregman, Bregman's going to command a massive contract worth $150 million or more over 6 years. And Marte's contract is one of the few bigger salaries that they could trade. So you again, this is almost like the Marte contract situation where it makes logical sense, but it does not mean that the Diamondbacks are in fact going to go with one or the other. They could, and if they really want to compete in this division, and if they really want to be a contender, they would almost need to not trade Ketel Marte and instead just add an Alex Bregman. The reason why the trade keeps coming up is because that trade instantly opens the financial room for the Diamondbacks to negotiate and operate, with Bregman and bring in a deal. It would also simplify the roster construction, allowing Bregman to lock down third base and the young infielders like Blaze, who we don't really know if we even want Blaze at second, but can shift over. We know Jordan Lawler can shift over to second. And from a front office perspective, it seems like logically it's the cleanest and most realistic path to getting the deal done is to get some sort of massive Ketel trade and also sign Bregman. But all it really takes is that beautiful man that we just showed you there, Ken Kendrick, right? That's all it takes. It literally takes a decision. It takes ownership approving a significant payroll jump and deciding that they are going to change course on what they said earlier and instead are going to add to payroll instead of subtracting from it. We got this in regards to a Ketel Marte trade from one John Gambadoro. Gambo wrote, "Nothing is imminent on the Ketel Marte trade front, but this is going to end and soon. Thank God. I do not see this dragging out much further. It's pretty simple. If the Dbacks get an acceptable trade offer worthy of moving a superstar player, which as of now they have not, then we will likely see a trade. And if they don't, I would expect them to shut it down and move on to other areas of concern, and Marte will remain a Diamondback." I love this. And I feel like Gambo's sick of it as much as I am, quite frankly, with the way that he worded this.
I mean, and honestly, it's kind of, I agree with you, but also, like, it's kind of funny because it feels like Gambo has very much kind of been maybe the major side from the Diamondbacks perspective, I guess, that has been like, this is a thing that very much could happen. And that they are doing.
Yes.
Like Gambo, and I know the whole Arizona sports crew, and maybe a little bit unfair, but like has been kind of like pigeonholed as like the guys that are like want to see Ketel out of a Diamondbacks uniform. And in this tweet, it's Gambo basically just saying like, pay up, or as we said the other day, lose this number. Everybody say it with us. It's like Price is Right.
Yeah.
Lose this number.
Yeah.
I mean, it's seriously, that's how it is. Like if the Red Sox want to pay up, because we know that they can put together a package that actually looks good enough, then we can have those talks. But if they don't want to pay up, see ya.
Yeah. And again, it's like we keep saying, Damon, how can they do this? How can they make this happen? How can they? Because we have been playing by the rules of engagement that they gave us, right? They gave us that not much information, but essentially that we are going to have to reduce payroll. So if you look at what they're committed to for 2026, what they paid in payroll in 2025, and do some simple math, giving them as much wiggle room as possible, literally saying, okay, what if they reduced it by $1 million, right? That does not allow them the money to do very much. And in fact, based on that, based on bringing back McCann, and based on signing Merrill Kelly, and based on signing Michael Soroka, they have like $10 million for 2026 to spend, if that, right? And that's based on what they've told us. But those rules are set by them. They're the ones that told us that that's how much money they were going to spend in 2026. And they're the ones that have the power to decide to change that. You know, I felt like we saw something very similar in the 2024 offseason. And next thing you know, I'm at a Corbin Burns introductory press conference. So I feel like this is a situation where some creative accounting, like deferrals or backloaded money off of 2026, can help this deal happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like the deferrals are what's going to make or break this from a Diamondbacks perspective.
Right. And none of it aligns with what Arizona really is, how they've operated historically, how Ken Kendrick has operated historically.
No, but maybe it aligns a little bit with how he's operated the past 2 seasons.
Right.
And this is kind of what I was trying to say on this podcast, Derek, this exact same podcast, PHNX Dbacks, every day, daily, 12 p.m. To 1 p.m. Derek will go get on here and say, why don't we even do a show this next season? Why don't we just call it quits?
Yeah.
We already know we're getting 4th place in the division. We already know that.
Just get my stuff in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Get my stuff
we already know that the season is cooked. And I said,
why even keep doing this episode? What's the point of even doing this episode?
And I said, Derek, what if Ken Kendrick has something up his sleeve like he did the last 2 off seasons? Would that be the craziest thing in the world if a Jordan Montgomery out of nowhere or a Corbin Burns out of nowhere happened for the 3rd time in a row? And I think the answer to that question, now that these reports are happening, is clearly, Derek, no. It would not be crazy. Ken Kendrick is always looking for the opportunity that he thinks is good enough value for this franchise. And I do truly think we've seen a turned page of Ken Kendrick from being an owner that was, largely not very liked by the people of this community and of this state. And now it feels like he's truly like going out there and being like, well, what would be the price on Bregman? We'll get back to you on that. Like he's like going out there like gauging interest or gauging interest, and it's pretty cool.
And players are gouging him. That's what they're doing. He's gauging.
True.
But yeah, no,
I do that all the time.
I'm
surprised if one of my parents is watching, they're going to be in the chat and be like, "It's gauging, Damon, you idiot."
You idiot. We sent you to school for how long for you to call it the wrong word? But no, I'll tell you this much. I've always felt oddly defensive of Ken Kendrick, even when there was a time when he was kind of the ire of the fans for not spending more money. I hate to say it, but at times I do feel like teams spend money knowing they're going to lose just to appease their fan base, right? It's a juggling act in a way, because in some cases you do have to pretend like you're going to compete, even though you, perhaps as a GM or a front office or an owner, know that this team is not going to, right? And I feel like there's some franchises that go out there and they freaking give a bunch of money to one player because they know that one player will sell jerseys, will bring people in, will do the things that, you know what I mean? Like
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, hell yeah, right, yeah. Well, I mean, exactly. That's such a prime example of that. And also an example of that.
Look, guys, we're trying.
Going as badly as it possibly could for the team that tried to do that, right? So I do think that is something that this team has avoided doing. And when they don't have that roster constructed without that player you come to watch, then people get really mad. And that's when they feel like this team isn't trying. But again, I'll just say it. Like, what's the point of spending money just to spend money when you think your team's going to be bad anyway? Like, I respect teams that at times, honestly, don't try, even though we hate those teams, even though those are probably the teams that we've talked about ruining baseball more than we talk about the Dodgers ruining baseball. Teams like the Pirates and teams like the Rays. And
teams like the Pirates who draft Paul Skeens, and then their first thought after they draft him is, how much do you think we could trade?
Yeah, man, imagine what's going to happen when we get a haul for this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, the Yankees are going to love him. So, but it really does all come down to Ken Kendrick. Can the Diamondbacks sign Bregman without trading Marte? Yes. Will they? Probably not. If Bregman ends up in Arizona, is a Ketel Marte trade still likely and the most realistic domino to fall first? Yes. But all it takes, Damon, is Ken Kendrick to change that. His decision. Right? And we already know, based on information provided to us, that the Diamondbacks are already one of the top teams when it comes to percentage spent on the team of money made off of the team.
Yeah, top 5 last 2 years.
Right. And Kendrick has always said that.
Whoa, Derek.
What?
Did you see this news that we have?
No, Damon, because I'm hosting a show, so it's hard for me to see news that's breaking while we're hosting a show. What do we got? No. What happened? Is he gone? Is he coming back?
He's back.
He's back?
The Dbacks have re-signed Big John Curtis to a minor league contract.
Let's go.
We cannot escape him.
He's never not watching. He's always there. He's always got our eyes on us. Now he's back. Let's go, baby.
This is huge for these post-game shows that we do, actually.
It's really not. It's not. But it's good because we'll know that he's still watching.
So closer filled.
Yeah. You're
right?
Yeah. Sorry, Pete Fairbanks. It took too long to negotiate with you. God, let's hope not. Let's hope that Ken Kendrick decides to open
Sorry,
up his
I felt
wallet.
like that was worth derailing the show.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, again, I'm with Gambo. And I hope he's right. I hope that Gambo is correct in saying that we're not going to do this for much longer. It's been all right for numbers. It's been all right for our content, right, Damon? But it's not right. It's not good for my soul. It's not good for my mental well-being.
It's not good for your friendship with Damon, because I make Derek talk about it every day, and he hates me more and more every single day.
What friendship?
Friendship might have been pushing it, honestly.
I mean, that's crazy to say we were friends in the first place. But whatever we had, the relationship we have is burned to the ground for sure. But again, when it comes to what he said there, like, yeah, I hope that's the case, and I'm very much looking forward to the day that Mike Hazen can just give us a firm, like, we're done with this kind of thing in regards to Ketel Marte trade. So I don't know, though. I don't know if we'll ever get that, and I don't know if people will even believe it once we get past that point. But they could do something fun and make this team good. They really could. You know what I mean? Like,
nuts.
Forget trading guys.
How nuts would Fairbanks plus Bregman be?
Bring me Tatsuya Amai.
Goldschmidt.
And I'm like, we're not doing any of that, right? Like, I feel like, again, if they do get Bregman,
I'll be doing it at Damon Dog on Twitter for pretty much until I croak.
Weird stuff.
You're never gonna get me to
bark,
stop.
Bark. Got Damon Dog
doing that fantasizing stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. All right. Well, you know what we do on Thursdays around here, and we're going to do that on the other side of this break. We got some stuff to talk about, and again, bid adieu to Throwback Thursday until 2026. So we're going to do that on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, you know I am a huge race fan, and of course, this spring, it's a great time to be in Arizona. Phoenix Raceway just made it even better. For the first time ever, NASCAR and NTT IndyCar Series are racing during the same weekend out at Phoenix Raceway, and you can get a front row seat to all of it. And it is an amazing experience. There's nothing like it. I had the pleasure of being out there for championship weekend last year, and it was incredible. The smell of the burning rubber, the roar of the cars, it's amazing. So do not miss out on this historic weekend. There are ticket options like a hillside view for the Cup race weekend packages that make planning very easy. And of course, get out there and tailgate and enjoy yourself. Be with your fellow race fans. Have a great time. NASCAR and NTT IndyCar Series weekend at Phoenix, March 5th through the 8th. Secure your seats now at the link in our description. And of course, if you want to be fitted like I am, ready for the Suns to continue being a surprisingly good team, you can head out to Rally House, get yourself all of your game day needs, and I mean, even the non-game day needs. Right now is a great time to head out to Rally House, get your loved ones a gift, especially for the sports fan in your life, and you'll find something there that you've never seen before. So make sure to check out Rally House and their unique supply of local sports teams gear. And I mean that when I say local sports teams gear, because that's all you're going to find there. You will not find these Dodgers World Series banners and t-shirts there. You're going to find nothing but Arizona sports teams, and you can check out their shop locations in Tempe, Mesa, and Glendale today. Find your local Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com right now. Well, of course, you guys, like I've said, you guys know what we do on Thursdays, and this is kind of the end of the road, right? Like, we have had we've had a lot of fun talking about things that have happened historically during this week. And of course, that really means that the Diamondbacks have nothing during this time of the year. But we'll be back with more Throwback Thursday in 2026. In fact, a little schedule update. We are going to be off the next 2 Wednesdays and Thursdays in honor of the holidays, in honor of Christmas, and in honor of New Year's. We're going to be off on the eves and the days. So, of course, we appreciate you guys so much, but we also appreciate our families, and I get to spend a little time with them. Congrats to the Suns crew, by the way, for finally not having a Christmas Day game. That's very important for them. But we talked about it a little bit, I think a few weeks ago, kind of led up to it, or just kind of glossed over it. But on December 8th, 2015, the Arizona Diamondbacks signed Zack Greinke to a 6-year contract. So here we are talking about signing Alex Bregman to a 6-year contract, and on this day in Diamondbacks history, we signed one Zack Greinke. Whenever we talk about the best pitchers in Diamondbacks history, it's easy for me to kind of gloss over Greinke, you know? Like, almost feel like his time in Arizona was as much of a failure as some of the other starting pitchers that they've picked up. But that's not exactly fair. You know, Zack Greinke in his time with the Diamondbacks was actually quite good. I mean, you know, he had a 5.8 WAR in 2017, 3.20 ERA in 2018. He posted a 3.21 ERA, and in 2019 he posted a 2.90 ERA. He was extremely good with the Diamondbacks. I think he came off of it was mostly because he came off of an incredible season with the Dodgers and then immediately had a bad season for the Diamondbacks. And that's something that we've gotten entirely too much of in our time. He comes off of leading all of a Major League Baseball in 2015 with the Dodgers with an 8.9 WAR and a 1.66 ERA. Came to the Diamondbacks, Damon, and his ERA ballooned up the next year to 4.37, from 1.66 to 4.37.
Man,
not great.
No.
Nor could you really say the return for Zach Greinke was great. There was a time where we really felt like the Diamondbacks like fleeced the Houston Astros, and I definitely don't think that's the case now. When you look
none of
back,
those guys ended up really doing anything.
Corbin Martin, JB Bukauskas, Seth Beer, and Josh Rojas. And Josh Rojas was like the one that was holding the deal up, from what I remember. And when I believe when the ownership group for Houston found out that was the reason, they were just like, "Give it to him. What are we doing? Give him Josh Rojas." And Rojas ended up being the best one out of all of those guys. By far. We still row through our city, but a couple of other contracts were signed during this period of time in Diamondbacks history. Both of those coming in 2023. The Arizona Diamondbacks on December 8th, 2023, agreed to terms with Eduardo Rodriguez on a 4-year contract. And they agreed to terms with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. on a 3-year contract. And yeah, man, I mean, Lourdes, his career with the Diamondbacks has definitely been all over the place. But I'll tell you, the biggest thing he could do, the biggest ability he could have is availability by being ready by opening day. I am still just so incredibly pessimistic that that's going to be the case. Yet I couldn't help but on Monday when we took a look at that video and answered that question in the mailbag, can't help but be excited seeing how far his progress is, considering we are sitting here talking about it in the middle of December and he still has several months of rehab and such to get ready that he could potentially be cleared medically and be back to this team by the time spring training or opening day comes around. Even if he's back by May, I still feel like that's a gigantic win for an injury and a player that we thought most likely we weren't going to see, at all return in a Diamondbacks uniform here. So again, it's great stuff from Lourdes overall with the recovery. But again, his time with the Diamondbacks, you could argue, for it or against it. He was very good in 2023 for the Diamondbacks. He hit 261, 309, 463 with a 772 OPS. But just still streaky, He only posted a 2.9 baseball reference WAR, and that was, one of his that was his better season. That was one of his best. Bill on our chat says just around social media, Dbacks have made a 6-year offer to Bregman. It's getting real.
I will make some research into this.
Yeah, you look into that, Damon, and also let me know if I need to do anything to chip money into that pile. Like I said, I don't know. Oh man, I don't know, but we'll find out. Maybe we get some breaking news while we're on this podcast, and Diamondbacks can make me a happy guy.
Maybe put some money in our bank accounts. Dave.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
As a Christmas gift.
Some live breaking news.
Yeah.
Bregman signing.
I mean, that's the gift that keeps on giving. Meanwhile, Eduardo Rodriguez has been consistent with the Diamondbacks. Consistently bad. In 2024, he posted a 5.04 ERA. In 2025, he posted a 5.02 ERA. 1.500 whip in 2024, 1.542 whip in 2025. Both years, Damon, both seasons, he posted a 4.57 FIP. I don't even know if that's possible. I don't even know how that's possible. That's so upsetting to me. Not only does it indicate that he was actually slightly better than his numbers would say, but it also says that he might just be this. He might not be the guy that had a 3.82 ERA with Boston in 2018 or 3.81 ERA in Boston in 2019. He led the league. He led all of Major League Baseball in starts in 2019. Anyway, so let's see. I saw that too. Reddit is willing to go 5-year and an option or straight up 6. Things are happening in the chat, Damon. Damon's over there clicking away. I can see it. I'm nervous. My palms are sweaty. Knees weak.
I'm not
Arms are
seeing
heavy.
anything that's like breaking
Imminent.
necessarily.
Imminent. It's the sources. It's the sauces. You got to make sure that the sauces are the correct sauces for sure. Because at this time of the year, people are going to float fake crap out there so much. Just for the funds of it, just for the funsies of it, for sure. But I'll tell you, we've talked a lot about the bad contracts historically. The Eduardo Rodriguez contract is shaping up to be one of the worst behind the Madison Bumgarner deal. What the Diamondbacks need is Erod to change that narrative. And the only way he can do that is by going out next year and going out the following season and pitching and being good and lowering that ERA back down closer to 4, sub 4 would be fantastic. But yeah, I mean, here you have a situation where a guy just, was paid what now looks like not as ridiculous of a deal, but still a pretty substantial amount of money to come to a team and bring what we thought was at least consistency. Not incredible blow you away numbers by any stretch of the imagination with Erod, but consistency. And they did not get that at all from him. So hopefully he can turn things around. Again, as I've said, with this pitching staff and the shape that they're currently in, you can see the potential with all 5 of these guys. But right now, you're not seeing the recent track record that makes you feel like this is a winning starting rotation. You have Merrill Kelly, you have Ryan Nelson, and then you kind of have everybody else. So we'll see how things shape up with that starting rotation. But if you are still looking for some wonderful Christmas presents, I know we are entirely too close to the day. I know shipping options might not be easy to find, but again, now would be a great time to check out our merch store and see our brand new hats. We got some amazing PHNX hats, including some new designs from our friends at Branded Bills. 3 new designs featuring their new canvas model. We also have our PHNX crest hat that just makes me want to listen to yacht rock. And then, of course, the beautiful PHNX Suns hat that is really stealing the show in this group right here. So go check out all the new styles that we have. You can head to store.allcitynetwork.com, head on over to gophnx.com and click our merch tab to find that stuff. Quantities are limited, so make sure to act now before supplies run out. And like I said, especially if it's a gift for you, who cares if it comes after the holidays? Still get yourself something nice. Get yourself looking right. Damon.
Derek.
I was going to title this episode, Tarik Skubal changes teams. How does this impact the Ketel Marte trade? I don't know how that would have done SEO-wise, but I do know that Tarik Skubal does have a new team. No, he has not been traded to the Dodgers. Tarik Skubal has been added to Team USA for the World Baseball Classic. I got the sense that our coach DeRosa here was going in a very good direction when we saw some of the names being added to Team USA. But I was still skeptical that they would fill out the entire lineup, the entire team with an all-star studded team and what it was shaping up to be originally, right? So now you have Tarik Skubal being added to Team USA, and he will be the 1A pitcher in the starting rotation with Paul Skeens. Good luck, the rest of the world. It's sincerely like Team USA was finally like, oh, okay, Japan. You want to literally get together every single one of your best players? Fine. We can do that. And that's what the Diamondbacks has done. Joe Ryan also has joined Team USA. That is your 1-2-3 starter, Tarik Skubal, Paul Skeens, Joe Ryan, Nolan McLean, Clay Holmes, and Matthew Boyd make up the rest of the starting rotation. We also have word now that Mason Miller has joined Team USA as the closer. This is baseball's version of the dream team, is it not, Damon? Is this not the dream team?
Yeah. Is Skubal for sure getting the rock over Skeens?
I don't know.
On night one?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I don't even know who you go with there.
I don't know who you go with.
They're both so damn good.
It's amazing. And what I like about this is that, no disrespect to the real dream team, but those guys were basically all of Hall of Famers. They were all Hall of Famers even at the time, right? The one thing I do love about this Team USA team is Corbin Carroll being on it, Bobby Witt Jr. being on it, PCA being on it, right? The future of the team and the very much the present, right? With you got Aaron Judge on there, you got Cal Raleigh, you got 2 catchers that are amazing on the same team. Like you have a stacked lineup, and I sincerely cannot wait for the World Baseball Classic to come around. I think Groundhog Mama said that she got tickets to go watch the first round in Japan. And I literally cannot imagine anything more elite. I don't think it was on today's episode. I think she told us that yesterday. But that sounds amazing. Could you imagine going to a World Baseball Classic team game and watching this freaking team? It's amazing. It's amazing. So, again, I think when you look across the roster and the things that make a tournament like this special is having teams like this, right? Like the best in the world playing against each other. It's also a risk, obviously, right? I've discussed that. Damon's called me a lame for it, and I totally understand. But as I've said, if one more Damon tries to stop me, there's going to be some rattlesnakes in the lobby, right? But Damon, I feel like other teams being okay with their superstars going is like infectious. You can't find out that the Yankees suddenly blocked Aaron Judge from going because of concerns of him getting injured or something like that in it, when every other team is allowing their literal top star. In the case of the Cubs and the Diamondbacks, their future star and now superstar now going, to be a part of this team. Like it makes this really special. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it feels like it's been kind of a mandate from baseball to make this bigger and to use this as a marketing tool for, international fans. And so I do think that this year, after Japan won it, especially last year, I bet you that Manfred and the powers that be are trying to pull the strings behind the scenes and be like, hey, let's get some more of these big name superstars on Team USA and let's make this thing really a world event. Because I know that, I'm hyped up seeing this. That's for sure. I don't even know who I'm rooting for at this point, Derek. My country, obviously the Dominican Republic,
yeah,
or my country where I live, which is the United States.
Right. Both, you've called both places home in your lifetime. Yeah. So there's that. But I know who won't be playing
Casa
on Team USA, and that is Mookie Betts. He revealed yesterday that he will not be playing for Team USA in the 2026 World Baseball Classic, as the birth of his 3rd child is expected around the same time. So shout out to Mookie Betts. Congratulations to him and his wife, Brianna Betts, on the announcement. That's the way that he basically told everybody she was pregnant. I don't think anybody knew that up until now. So he revealed it by basically saying, oh, yeah, I can't be in it. There's a baby on the way. I forgot. I should have probably started off with that. We have a baby on the way, and I can't be in the World Baseball Classic.
So let me get this straight, Derek. Shohei Ohtani.
Loves his country.
Japanese.
Loves his country.
Freddie Freeman. Canadian.
Loves his country. Playing for Team Canada.
Mookie Betts
Yikes.
Won't suit up for Team USA.
Somehow loves his wife more than he loves his country.
Point of the matter being, does anyone on the Dodgers actually care about America, or is this whole country anti-American?
There it is.
Because that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting out of here.
I wasn't even expecting that direction, but good for you. Good for you. Mookie Betts went on to say she said she'd divorce me if I wasn't there. So that's probably a pretty good reason for you to just bow out of taking part in the World Baseball Classic.
Fair.
But what if you named her America? What if you named the child America? Now are we back? Are we back? Like, I'm just saying, what if I went and played and while you had her, we were just like, her name is Gold Medal. That's what her name is now, you know?
Probably name it like Karl Marx or something like that, Derek.
Probably.
Guy hates this country so much.
Last but not least, we have a bone to pick with the Cleveland Guardians, and that's because we got word that they have designated Big Christmas for assignment. What are we doing? Is it Johnski? Is it Johnski Noel? I'm bad at names. You guys know that. But regardless, the Cleveland Guardians, they went ahead and they DFA'd Christmas, Big Christmas. How are you going to do that right around the holidays? That's crazy. Can you not wait until January? It's like, can you not take down your Christmas lights and then DFA Big Christmas, right? Don't like DFA Big Christmas before Christmas comes around. That seems like a very Grinch move. I don't like that. I also took a look at his numbers, Damon, because you know me, and I immediately was like, get this guy on my team. And then I was like, wait, never mind. Hard pass, because my man struggled last year. I think he hit 182 last season. And he's been really good in AAA, but again, just really hasn't put up the numbers at a major league level that earns a nickname that's as amazing as Big Christmas. So that's unfortunate. But again, I'm always willing to hear out anybody on any free agent, Damon, and you could definitely make a case with me based on nickname. I'm not going to shy away from being down on the nickname situation. But we have one more show tomorrow this week, 12 p.m. Make sure to join us for that. We're going to talk more about what relievers are available on the market. Damon, I know you weren't here for that, but we're kind of missing out. They are almost all sold out of relievers at the free agency store, and I don't know what the Diamondbacks are going to do in order to fill that need, especially if this Pete Fairbanks deal does not go down. I'm still not seeing anybody strongly attached to Fairbanks, but again, with the names like the Cubs, the Yankees, and the Mets all kind of interested, I wouldn't be surprised to see any number of those teams come in, swoop in, and grab them at this point. Probably a team that doesn't even need a closer. Probably a team that's just going to use them as like a setup man or 100%. Something else, right?
But pay him even more money than
pay him more money than the Diamondbacks do. So we got $22 million 2 years for Luke Weaver, $22 million 2 years for Brad Keller.
I would have done that for Luke Weaver.
You would have done $22 million for 2 years?
Yeah, I think I would.
But would he have had to been your closer on this team? I mean, we looked at his numbers. We looked at his baseball savant.
It would have been a committee approach, yeah. I think he would have been the guy that you would say
the stopgap until those other guys return.
Is most likely the closer until other guys return, until maybe you're good enough and you make an addition at the deadline that can be the closer and he can now be the setup man. That's kind of what I would have. I would have been fine with that with Luke Weaver, but now you have to get Pete Fairbanks.
You have to.
He has more leverage than any player I've ever seen right now.
Right.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Do any of the 30 teams want the one good reliever that's left on the market? Pay up, bud.
It's like that last episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air right now. It's just Pete Fairbanks in the room looking around at a bunch of empty furniture.
But it's like a happy thing, Gary. That's the difference.
No,
he's looking
thrilled.
around and he's like, okay.
He's like, soon this room is going to be filled with money. Soon that's what's going to be in this room.
He's Scrooge
Piles
McDuck
of money
into the coins.
Again, I don't know. It sucks because I know that the Diamondbacks have had in the past. That's one thing that these last two off seasons were different about, was they could wait and let guys fall to them. And now they can't really afford to wait, especially when it comes to this specific need. There's plenty of starting pitchers still available. Hell, you look at the guys up at the top of the market, right? The Kyle Tuckers, those guys are still, all the big bats are still available as well. So it's like there's areas of the free agent market that aren't moving, and there's areas.
And then there's the one that the Diamondbacks needed the most. And that one is gone. Except for one guy.
Again,
one individual.
This is Christmas all over again. There's so many Christmas experiences here, but this is like, again, you didn't know the toy your kid wanted was the hot item. I've had that happen because no one can ever really predict what the hot item is. It's going to be Elmo this year. Yeah, right. They're going to produce so many Elmos that everyone's going to get an Elmo.
Yeah.
It's the unexpected thing that adults don't know kids are into, that they're not producing enough of. And in this case, it's not producing enough relief pitchers for our kids. We need more relief pitchers out there so our kids can get them for Christmas.
And then all of a sudden, maybe you're having a garage sale and they want to get that. Your kids want to get rid of that relief pitcher.
Oh, you want to get personal with me? You want to make me hurt my feelings about my daughter throwing away this thing that I went to 3 Toys R Us's to find for her when Coco was a thing, and this little beloved toy that barks and his little wings flap. She just wanted to callously toss it aside, and that's how it ended up here.
And we rehomed it.
I want to rehome. Can we rehome Pete Fairbanks? That's what we need to do. By the way, the one main reason why I've always said that this is Damon Dog is it's mostly red and blue, but it's got a little bit of maroon and gold up here in the ear, just a touch.
Wow.
Anyway, that's all.
How long have you been holding on to that one?
Oh, it's been holding on for a long time. Been waiting for that one. Appreciate you guys stopping by. We will be back tomorrow, like I said, with another 12 p.m. show, talking about relievers. If there's any left, maybe there's not, and we're going to have to move on. But hopefully you guys stop by for that. In the meantime, you can join us on Twitter. You can follow us. I'm at Cap_Caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dog with a DAWG, and we're all Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate you stopping by. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, have yourselves a wonderful evening. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you hurry up and get a closer before they're all gone.
We all silly like the mayor.